We are each born with a sacred code, a sequence of energies that map the tension between our humanity and our divinity. In this 58th pattern of evolutionary change lies one of these codes. At its heart is a challenge that has shaped civilizations, stirred revolutions, and kept many silently suffering. Welcome to this channel, and in this space is dedicated to decoding the hidden language of our transformation. Today, I begin with the 58th pattern of change, the evolutionary pressure you've likely felt your whole life, even if you've never had a name for it. As usual, I start with a parable, and in this one, it's called The Weight of Perfection. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. Once there lived a young woman named Ellen, who could never sit still. She was loved by many for her mind, quick, curious, always improving things. But what they didn't see was that she woke each morning with a knot in her chest, a tension that whispered, "It's not enough. You're not enough. Try harder." She worked tirelessly, fixed broken systems, helped friends in need, stayed busy so she wouldn't have to face the quiet. One day, she visited an old lake known for its stillness. The water was so clear it reflected everything. She sat by its edge, hoping to find peace. But when she looked in, she didn't see herself, only ripples, distortions, noise. Frustrated, she threw a stone in the water and stormed off. An old man nearby said gently, "It's not the lake that's restless, it's you." Ellen blinked. For the first time, she didn't argue. She sat down again and did nothing. Not out of defeat, but surrender. Hours passed, she began to feel different. Not peaceful, not perfect, just present. When she looked into the water again, it reflected her face. No ripples, no distortion, and for the first time, she smiled without needing a reason. That smile was bliss. The lake, of course, is our own soul. The ripples are the mental noise of dissatisfaction, the shadow of this 58th pattern of evolutionary change. A pressure not to harm, but to awaken, a sacred tension that asks, what would happen if you stopped striving and just started listening? This 58th challenge lives in the root center, where evolutionary pressure is stored. It's not a mistake that one feels restless. The universe built that into you. It is the desire to improve, to fix, to move toward better. Not from greed, but from a deep knowing that something more aligned is possible. But here's the challenge. When that energy is hijacked by fear, by comparison, judgment, or chronic dissatisfaction, it becomes toxic. It turns joy into pressure, passion into burnout, and presence into performance. And yet, this shadow process is still sacred. The complementary shadow to dissatisfaction is the shadow of stress and its fear of consequences from action or inaction. Its repressive nature is to become stuck, and its reactive nature is to become restless. So you can see how both shadows feed off each other to keep us always in a state of nervousness, anxiety, frenetic nature, unable to sit still and just relax and trust. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign. So you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7 because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you will reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. The shadow of dissatisfaction exists because life is evolving through us. From a biological lens, it's the pressure in the nervous system designed to stimulate movement and growth. But from a spiritual perspective, it is also a portal or a gateway, a friction point between our current self and our soul's remembrance of peace. The shadow is not here to be fixed, it is here to be felt. Our dissatisfaction is sacred. It tells us that we long for a deeper alignment, not with more success, not with a different partner, but with the truth of who we are. Because the gift of vitality, the next frequency, emerges when we stop reacting and start responding to life from a place of joy. And ultimately, this 58th pattern leads to the grace of bliss, joy without cause, fulfillment without condition. But not before we meet the restlessness face to face and befriend it. This specific challenge teaches that bliss isn't found at the end of striving. Bliss arrives when we stop striving altogether. Not as resignation, but as radical trust. Dissatisfaction approaches us with the question, do you think you're enough? And the bliss whispers, I always was. Every step we take to face our restlessness, every moment we don't numb it, run from it, or project it, is a step towards grace. The shift from fear to love is not linear, it's cyclical, rhythmic, and organic. This specific challenge doesn't demand that you be joyful all the time. It simply asks, can you allow joy to exist in the tension? Can you let your striving soften into curiosity? Can you trust that what you seek is already here, awaiting in the stillness? This is a sacred challenge of this 58th pattern. You don't need to fix the world to find joy. You just need to remember that joy is the world when seen through stillness. In future videos, I'll explore more of the shadows and their gifts, as well as the graces that are available to you as you alchemize and transmute them. But for now, simply sit with this. Your dissatisfaction is not your enemy. It is your invitation. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. I hope it brought you some perspective that you really needed so that you can find more calm, more presence, more stillness moving forward. Down below, there's more information on this shadow and the evolutionary process. You'll also find a link to contact me in case you want to get in touch with me, have a free consultation, and explore these shadows, the ones that even are more specific to you, and appreciate the gifts awaiting you when you master the alchemization of these evolutionary processes. You'll also find a link to my website where you'll learn more about me, what I do, how I do it, and why. I also host 3 supportive groups, one on spiritual divination systems like human design and the gene keys, so you can learn both the masculine aspect of these divination systems and the feminine, so that you can both be receptive to what is needed from you, that you are inspired by, and then activate what you love doing through your passion through that divine masculine. After that, I have the emotional intelligence and mastery group, where we learn more about the emotions, not as enemies, not as combatants, not as burdens, but as allies and motivational intelligence forces that we can integrate to manifesting the kind of life that truly fulfills us, where we feel at peace with our creation. And lastly, emotional trauma release group, where you learn how to allow your feelings and your emotions to emerge from within so that they can come up to the surface and be let go and released so that you can appreciate the dissatisfaction from your experiences and realize what intuitively works better for you. Learn the wisdom from that experience, integrate it, and change and shift towards patterns that bring you more peace, calm, stillness, and self-acceptance. So the vacancies you create from the release can then be fueled and filled with grace. Thank you very much for being on this journey with me. I hope you gained a lot and you obtained value from this video. God bless you on your journey. Namaste and good life to you all.